Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to another weekly video. I'm Terry, a Jamaican immigrant living here in the beautiful state of Florida, and I'm obsessed with my home and all things homemaking, so I decided to start a channel to take you along with me weekly as I go about my days. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Thank you for subscribing. We're gonna have a wonderful time here. I am building a lovely community on this corner of the internet and just as excited to have you here. Today we are cooking some spicy curry coconut shrimp with white rice, and we're also going to bake a whole chicken. So what we're doing right now is cleaning up our chicken, and also we're going to be taking all the shell off our shrimp and deveining the shrimp as well. Make sure that you wash your meats and your seafood prior to cooking. I like to wash my meats with vinegar, and I like to wash my seafood with lemon juice, fresh lemon juice or lime, whatever I have on hand. So that's what I'm doing right now, is to clean these up, and we're gonna pat dry them to get all that excess water off before we add our seasoning. So once we got all our meats and our shrimp all cleaned up and got all that excess water off, we're going to go ahead now and add our powdered seasoning. And I use the same powdered seasoning for cooking almost everything. So garlic powder, onion powder, salt and pepper, smoked paprika, and some complete seasoning. Before I add my powder seasoning, I like to drizzle a little bit of olive oil. This way the powder seasoning clings really nicely to my meats and seafood. And I also season the shrimp with the same powdered seasoning as well. So we're gonna add a generous amount here because no one has ever said my chicken has too much flavor. So go ahead and pour those seasonings. Whatever we add to the front, we're going to also add the same seasonings to the back of the meats. And I like these seasonings, they're very flavorful. I'm just getting some salt there. Forgot to add salt. We want to add salt, guys. Can't forget the salt. So I'm home and I like to cook with my hands. I don't like to wear gloves. I prefer to wash my hands as frequently as I can, but I prefer not to wear gloves. But you know, if you like to put some gloves on, go ahead and do so. So this is green seasoning and I bought it from the store, but usually I make my own from scratch. But it was Saturday and it was not that kind of day. So when I'm making this from scratch, I just use onion, garlic, parsley, thyme, Scotch bonnet pepper, and Escellions to blend the green seasoning. But the store option worked pretty well today because I was not in the mood to make anything from scratch. This was just a quick meal, quick Saturday evening meal. But we're gonna add that all over the chicken, and then we're gonna add some browning, some grace browning for color, because I personally do not like when my chicken is baked and it's white, so I like to add a little bit of browning. And what I usually do when I make my own green seasoning from scratch, I normally add the browning to the green seasoning. But since this was the store-bought option, I really didn't, have the option to do that. But do you see how well the chicken is seasoned? We're going to set that to the side on a skillet. Yes, I baked my chicken on a skillet. Look, I have baking containers, you guys, but I have been baking on the skillet for quite some time. It works well. If I'm baking the chicken a different kind of way, which I do sometimes, I will use one of my baking container, but for the most part, I'm popping these on a skillet. So we're going to let that marinate a little bit to the side while we work on the shrimp. And again, we're just going to add a little bit of drizzle of olive oil, same powdered seasoning here, garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper, smoked paprika. And the only thing we're going to do different now, we're going to add some powdered turmeric as well as some powdered curry. I actually really do enjoy cooking so much. It's my favorite pastime thing to do besides reading. I love to cook meals from scratch, and I cook a lot throughout the week, and I cook any day of the week, and I also cook anytime. I cook in the mornings, afternoons, evening. I just believe that one of the best ways you can, show someone you love them is through a warm meal. I'm very traditional as well, so I have to add that in there, but I think, sharing a plate with someone is also a very nice way to spread a little bit of love. So that's what I enjoy doing in my pastime. So now we're going to add some vegetables. So we're going to set that to the side, that curry shrimp that we just got done seasoning. And we're going to add some onions, scallions, bell peppers, and Scotch bonnet pepper, and some carrots as well. So let's chop those up. These do not have to be neat and cute. We're going to just throw them all over there in the pot. So just got to chop them up so they can all fit in there. But that's all you need to do. And I shave my carrots. I never peel my carrots. The skin of the carrot has nutrients as well. So I like to just wash my carrots and to shave them lightly before I chop them up. So we just added all those vegetables we just cut up to the shrimp. We're going to mix that around a little bit, get them marinated with all the rest of the seasoning. Then we're just gonna add some herb here, which is thyme, and we're gonna set that to the side because we're gonna cut up a little bit more vegetables. We're gonna add a tomato here because we're gonna make a homemade sauce that we're going to use to baste the chicken while it's being baked. So we're gonna make a spicy sweet sauce, or a sweet spicy sauce. And we're gonna use that to bake the chicken so it's nice and juicy. Now we're gonna preheat the oven at 350 degrees, and while the oven is being heated, we're gonna go ahead and prepare our curry shrimp. So we're gonna add a little bit of vegetable oil to a very hot saucepan. Once your saucepan is heated to the temperature of your desire, we're just gonna go ahead and throw all that goodness into that pan, the curry shrimp, all the vegetables and herbs. We're gonna mix that all, we're gonna stir that all together for, maybe just a couple minutes. And then we're gonna go ahead and add some hot water to said pan that we had prepared the shrimp in. And that's to get all that goodness out of that pan into your saucepan, because now we're gonna make that delicious coconut curry spicy sauce that's gonna go so well with this shrimp. So let's just get that done. Smells good. So we're going to be using our Grace coconut milk, and I just wanted to show you what I did use, but I had some in the refrigerator already, so I decided to go with that as well. And also we're going to add a little piece of Grace creamed coconut paste. Hello Grace, I love your products. Let's work together. This is pimento seeds, so I like to add it to give my food a little flavor, and I add this to everything. I cannot do without my pimento seeds, so yeah, just added that to the pot. We're gonna stir that a little bit, add a little bit more salt for flavor, not a lot, a little goes a long way. It's best to add it after if you need more salt, but too much salt, we can't fix that. Now my oven is heated at 350, so I'm gonna add the chicken to the oven, and then I'm gonna put that on 25 minutes. So we have our coconut curry shrimp going, and we're gonna add that homemade sauce to baste our chicken. So we're gonna do that with some ketchup and some sweet barbecue sauce. We're gonna add some brown sugar to this, as well as some garlic powder and onion powder, and we're gonna mix that together and add some hot boiling water. We're gonna just use this delicious sweet spicy homemade sauce, and what this is gonna do is we're gonna use it to baste the chicken as it bakes, so the chicken is not dry. We're gonna keep adding liquid to it, but the chicken itself produces like its own juice. So if you're not in the mood for making this, you can also just use the juice that the chicken produces to baste the chicken as well, and that's just fine. Matter of fact, I think that's what a lot of people do. But I like my baked chicken. It tastes like it just came over off the plane from Jamaica, you understand? So we're doing the things. So those vegetables that we had cut up with the tomato and things, we're going to add them to the skillet here, a hot skillet, and we're going to stir that around for maybe just you know, a couple minutes or so. Add some salt, a little bit of salt to that before we add the ketchup sauce in. Again, the pimento seed, because we're not gonna cook without those. Another thing we also is gonna add, we're gonna add a huge Scotch bonnet pepper, because this here is sweet, and that Scotch bonnet is what's gonna bring the spicy to the baked chicken, because we really want that spice. There you go. Pop that bad boy in. We are also adding some grease browning for a tad bit of color, because I love when my chicken is flavorful and it's on the brown side and just look all juicy. I like to cook with my hands, so you know, do what you love in your kitchen, do what pleases you in your kitchen, do what works for you and your family, and enjoy the process. This is fun for me. Cooking is fun, so let's enjoy it. I had cut up some potatoes. You know, I need to add some starch to the pot, and I added it to both because this is actually what I use to thicken the sauce. But if you're making any type of meal, you need to thicken your sauce and you do not have potatoes on hand, if you have cornstarch, that works just fine as well. Do you see this chicken right now? It already looks so good. So it's been 25 minutes and we're gonna go ahead now and start basting the chicken with our delicious sauce that we just made. And we're gonna add a generous amount to the chicken. We're gonna pop that in on 15 minutes or so, and we're gonna do that twice. Now bear in mind, with the timing of this chicken and what it requires to bake, it all depends on the size of your chicken. To be honest, this was not like a large chicken, it was more like a medium-sized chicken, and so this takes maybe a good hour and 25 minutes because my oven also is not like a high heat oven. It's, you know, it's an older oven, so that's another thing you have to take into consideration when you're baking your chicken. So everything is almost done at this point. I'm just going to go ahead now and prepare my white rice, and I'm just going to give that, it's about 2.5 cups of rice I have here. I'm just going to wash that. Hey, I wash my rice once, you understand me? But hey, if you want to wash your rice 5-6 times, feel free to do so. But in this kitchen, we wash the rice once. So I just give the white rice a good wash, and I had my boiling water going on the stove. Added a little bit of salt to that, and I'm going to add this rice to my pot. So white rice doesn't have to be basic. I like to add different types of herbs to my white rice. So tonight I'm going to add a few cubes of butter and some fresh thyme, but sometimes I add basil, sometimes I add rosemary, at times I add coconut milk and some ginger for ginger coconut rice. You can do just about anything to your white rice and add all kinds of flavor and just, you know, mix it up a little bit, make it, it's white rice, but it can still be delicious and exciting. So we're just adding thyme and butter tonight. This was Saturday night. We ended up didn't go anywhere. We stayed home, but wanted us to have a nice meal, you know, kick back, watch some Netflix, enjoy a plate. So that's it, you guys. I'm adding the ingredients in the description box below. I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope you try this recipe. It's a Jamaican delicacy and we love it so much. Everything came out so delicious. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next week. Bye, you guys.